Hey guys, don't normally do this since it's not really my style, but just a quick explanation for the lack of uploads. I've been super busy with uni and travel and I haven't really been able to prioritize videos, but good news, this video should hopefully be followed by many more through the summer, so keep posted. Drop a sub, like, or comment if you're interested in seeing me No Life of Minecraft lore YouTube channel, and enjoy the video. Religion is a topic that sparks insane levels of controversy and debate, in the modern day and especially throughout history. The sheer amount of past holy wars attest to that fact. Real life religions come with doctrines, rules, holy books and devout followers, but can Minecraft players replicate something like that? Today, we look at a Minecraft Anarchy player who seemingly achieved the impossible, spawning a dedicated religion on Purity Vanilla. The immediate thought of most of you familiar with the server's lore may be that an older player, well established on the server, such as Daddy Satan or perhaps It's Freaks, is responsible for something like this. Well, although the chances were admittedly low, the server's prime religion was started by none other than, well, a completely new player. At the time, of course, the player Jake62 or Jake7625 has been a moderator for several years now, but when he joined on the 28th of September 2019, his first course of action was implementing his own religious doctrine across the server. To achieve his grand plan for religious dominance, Jake would build moai heads everywhere he could find, hoping that people would find them and begin a trend. Trend they did, and the signs attached to the heads explaining his new religion would catch on and be replicated by other players throughout the server, including prominent group bases such as Greenland. The moai heads would be known as Jakes, and Jake would be their messenger of faith, their prophet, spreading the word of Jake and his likeness far and wide. After establishing his religion, now the Church of Jake, he and his followers would begin to clog up the server's chat. Praise Jake in all his glory, they would proclaim, organising their further religious dominance in the Church of Jake Discord, which unfortunately no longer exists. However, invitation to the Discord could only be accessed by participating in a ritual for joining the church. A prospective Jakeite would have to build a Jake head themselves and post a picture of them with the statue. This would further push the Jake heads throughout Purity and turn Jake into a household name for the months of October and November 2019. Members would often build a head near spawn, which would then be griefed by the frequent spawn players such as Cody Morta, only to be immediately rebuilt the next day, often with another head right beside it. Of course, a religion becoming big is not without consequence. The Elmo Union, another religion on Purity that started much earlier, though one that arguably did not catch on quite as well, were not happy that someone else was taking the spotlight of dominant Purity religion. In response to the sudden eruption of Jakes across the server, Istino and Mr. Ska would create their own Elmo heads around spawn. Their faction, Varden, would also join in the efforts, killing Jakeites and even Jake himself on one occasion. Then, as divine intervention in the tales of old, Jake was struck with an idea. He travelled up to the blessed coordinates of 2500 to 10800 and built a monument to his religion. It would be a huge, tall pillar of Jake heads, scaling far into the sky, named the Jakelith. Following up on his role as prophet, Jake imparted his grand message into the Purity Vanilla Discord server. His message read,
"The Jakelith has risen. His mighty eyes gaze over all of us. His light reaches every corner of our world. Repent. Repent is the only salvation." His disciple Jake7625 tried to warn us. He tried to make us open our eyes and see his light. If we all praised him, maybe he would stop what is to come. But it is too late. The prayers were not enough. The day of reckoning grows near. However, to spare the server of what is to come, Jake7625 constructed the Jakelith, a hulking copy-paste stacked monument in Jake's image. At the top, Jake7625 spoke to him. He said, "Spare the good people of this server. They will all believe in and praise your glory and light eventually." Jake was merciful. But in exchange for salvation, the Jacobus shall be used as a vessel for Jake so that he may monitor the progress of his disciple and silently watch over his land.
With his message spread, he decided he would build a temple near the Jacobus, dubbed the Temple of Jake, a Japanese temple with a large reflective pond out front. This would become the headquarters of the Church of Jake from the 16th of November 2019, which had by now amassed membership consisting of many well-known players on the server. At the temple, they would construct a second Jacobus, once again towering all the way up to build height. However, though the temple was grand and the Jacobus mighty, things were not fated to last. On the 26th of November 2019, Grandma Pepe, notably one of the higher-ups of the Church of Jake, would give the coordinates of the temple to Highest in the room. Highest, at the time, was in Dawnbreakers, a short-lived faction in 2019, but was not happy and had chosen to leak their base. When he leaked Dawnbreakers, he would also leak the Temple of Jake to the Varden, the church's most dedicated enemies. The Varden came and destroyed the temple, leaving huge lava casts across the area. Although they destroyed much, both Jacobus still stand tall to this very day. In fact, the temple itself was used as the spot of a recent fight club. So with that, Jake had gotten bored of spamming the chat with his message, and decided to disband the church altogether, also nuking the Discord that had been used to organize their activities. Jake went on to join Dawnbreakers, a building group that unfortunately would also not last particularly long, but helped to usher in some of the more well-known builders into the server's community. The legacy of the Church of Jake still remained, however. Besides two Jacobus, Jake heads throughout the server still stood proud, and several were even built into the Q server, where they can still be found to this day. So, can a Minecraft player start a successful religion? Well, it depends on what you consider success. But it's undeniable that the efforts of the Church of Jake and its followers made a true mark in history, and were definitely the most prolific religion on Purity Vanilla so far. With that, I will leave you all with the same message that Jake left his followers as his church crumbled and disappeared.
Change the world. My final message. Goodbye.
We love Glaceon guy.
We love Glaceon. Woo, woo, woo.